Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the DFS 5-pack. My name is Ryan Kostrowski. Let's talk a little sports. Let's talk a little baseball. Let's talk a little strategy. Before jumping into it, guys, I already covered it on today's podcast, talking about advice for here, April 24th. But just wanted to reiterate, plan on bringing up the website live. DFS 5-pack should be good to go in about a week. Very excited about this. If you want to be a team member, we'd love to have you before we get going. Annual pricing will continue at the discounted rate up until the website comes out, and then it'll be the 200 for the time being, though, just 175 for a full year. And we are going to do a 1 month May special, which is forever pricing, 1 month, all of May. Technically, if you want to do it now, you're more than welcome to, but forever pricing will be a one-time payment of $350. Never pay another dollar. Get all of my MLB, NBA, and NFL info. So if you want to do that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to have you. Let's get this thing going, though, guys. If you want to join the team, let me know. But what I want to talk about today is specifically geared towards baseball. And what I want to talk about is called riding the hot hand, recent performance, whatever you want to call it. To me, I'm huge into professional NBA, MLB, and NFL. Those are my three big sports. I don't know a ton of college. I don't know anything about hockey. Tennis is not my game. I couldn't tell you much about golf, but I know those three sports pretty well. And the one thing that I'll tell you is baseball, for my three sports, by far the number one sport when it comes to evaluating guys based on their recent performance. Baseball is an interesting game in that fact. Guys are, what's the word I'm looking for? Superstitious is a big part of it. Their confidence will go up and down. You only get so many at-bats in one game to work yourselves out of the slump. Now, in basketball, for example, guys can shoot themselves in and out of slumps within a game. Shooters are the one area of basketball where I like to look at a guy's recent performance. You look at a guy like a JJ Redick, who gets all of his points via shooting for the most part, right? Hitting three-pointers. If he's, 19 for his last 29 from beyond the arc, I like that. If the guy's, 9 of his last 40 from beyond the arc, I know his shot's a little bit off right now. But shooters can even shoot themselves in and out of, hot and cold streaks within a game. Football is so much about game flow. So you pick a running back in a game where you think they might be ahead against a weak run defense, right? And you guys don't play for a week. So if you get a guy who's hot, who's playing well, he doesn't play for another 7 days. Whereas in baseball, you get your 3 to 6 at-bats a day, and then you turn around and you play the next day. If a guy's 0 for his last 16, very often it's not going to be because he just had bad luck. It's because he's just off a little bit right now. And this will vary player to player, but it'll go up and down more than any other sport that there is out there because of the way baseball is formatted. Playing on a daily basis, not getting practice time in between, not getting a huge turnaround in confidence. In baseball, you have this minor split second to make a decision if you're going to swing or if you're going to miss. And if your confidence is up, you're making those decisions in a timely, aggressive, and an efficient manner. When your confidence is down, you find yourself in a position trying to over-evaluate everything, and this will be up and down throughout the season. You'll see guys run through multiple hot streaks and multiple cold streaks. In more than any other sport, I think that you could click on that 10-game log playing on DraftKings and look what they've done over their last 10 days. And if you simply ride the righty-lefty splits without even looking up the guys with reverse splits and just look at your recent game performance, you could actually be semi-competitive if you know a little bit about baseball. Now, this isn't going to make you a great MLB DFS player, but what I mean, you could pick a lot of offensive guys solely based on recent results and riding righty and lefty splits. It wouldn't be horrible results. Now, if you want to be really good, you're going to have to get more granular. You're going to have to look farther into it. But just being decent, you can do it that way and actually come up with some okay results. So sometimes, and I brought this up in today's podcast earlier, people become a slave to their statistics. And they'll go, well, this guy's got a weighted on base average and an OPS of this, and this guy doesn't. Yeah, okay, well, this guy's 10 for his last 11, and this guy is 1 for his last 28. I'll take the guy who's 10 for his last 11 over the guy who is 1 for his last 28 almost every single time. Now, if you watch a lot of baseball like me and you subscribe to the MLB package and you're busting around, going from game to game, listening to the local announcers talking about what each guy's at bats are looking like, a great way to get some good GPP picks is to look for those guys who are maybe 0 for their last 20, not going to get a ton of love, but the day before, maybe they went 0 for 4 or let's say 0 for 3 with 2 walks, hit a long fly ball to the warning track and lined out to the third baseman, which they're just about to bounce out of those slump. Those will make for great GPP picks, but then you really got to watch baseball, which not everybody does. That's why I'm here, to try to give you guys some of that information. I watch baseball like it's my job. I like baseball more than 99% of the population. I can watch a baseball game, and I'll go back and forth. And even on nights where I'd rather throw on a movie for a little bit, I'll say, you know what? Let's watch these late games for a little bit and get a better feel for it. So that's one thing that you can check out, but you got to watch baseball to do that. Going back, though, a second, is if anybody's ever seen the movie The Big Short, it's one of my all-time favorite films, but they have a section in this movie where they talk about hand of blackjack, and then they use the term in basketball. It's called the hot hand fallacy. Just because a guy makes 10 3-pointers in a row, he's no more likely to make the next one. I call bullshit on that. If you give me 2 3-point shooters and one's made 10 in a row and one's missed 10 in a row, I will take the guy who's made 10 in a row every single time, and I can all but guarantee, I don't have the stats to back this up, that if you looked at guys who have made 10 in a row versus guys who have missed 10 in a row, the next shot, the guy who's made the 10 in a row has got a higher percentage than the guy who's missed 10 in a row. People stop need to evaluating athletes like coin flips or cards. It's not the same. These are people. People have ups and downs. We all have our own jobs, and we're going to have ups and downs in those as well. And the best comparison I can make to this is anybody who's ever done sales or anything salesy related. I've been a salesperson for 15 years until I started doing this full time, but even this has, some sales associated with it. When I first got out of college, I sold siding and windows, and I worked at 100% commission, and I did that for about 4 years. But we were doing one-call closes, going to people's houses, doing long presentations. I had months where I made 10 to 20 grand in a month, and I had months where I didn't make $1. And a lot of that had to do with simply riding the hot hand. When people kept saying yes, it snowballs. You're confident. You're walking in. You're making good, quick, smart decisions. When you've gone 0 for your last 19, or when you haven't sold anything in 6 weeks and you're now living off of ramen noodles and spaghetti and you got nothing left in your checking account, or if you're 0 for 19 with 12 strikeouts, your confidence plummets and you're not making those good decisions. You're trying more to not screw up than you are to actually succeed. When you're confident and you've hit 4 home runs in 10 days and you got 3 doubles in that time period and 9 singles and only struck out 3 times, you're making good quality decisions. You're feeling really, really good about yourself. Same thing goes with sales. So just a real life scenario draws a pretty steady comparison, in my opinion. In baseball, like I've already brought up, you could legitimately look at what somebody's done over recent memory. Now, if they're 10 for their last 10, but now they got to go up against Kershaw and they're a left-handed hitter, that's not what I'm talking about. But this will also vary from player to player. I think one example of a guy where you don't ride a hot hand nearly as much is going to be the game's best hitter, and that's Mike Trout. Mike Trout is just a staple of consistency. Will he have his little mini peaks and valleys? Absolutely. Every baseball player does. But Mike Trout doesn't ever really go into extended slumps, and he doesn't really ever just get scorching hot where he hits 8 home runs in 10 days. It's usually a much smaller variance. Now, you look at guys like top of my head, Justin Upton, who I brought up yesterday, Brian Dozier, Nelson Cruz, guys like this who just get red hot for 1, 2, 3 weeks, and you can just ride these dudes for 10 straight days. Nelson Cruz will get like that. He'll homer every day, once or twice for like 8 straight days. Just keep playing him, especially when he has to match up a left-handed pitcher, for example, or anybody that he can hit real well off. Brian Dozier gets into these extended long hot streaks where he homers. He did it last year. Last year was even more so a perfect case scenario, where he homers almost every day for weeks in a row, and you just play him, watch him have a couple of bad at-bats and not homer for a day or two, and then just run away from him. So baseball gears more towards recent performance than any other sport. Now, they talk about, like I brought up that hot hand fallacy. In football, even somewhat in basketball, I'm agreeing with you on that one. I totally understand it, but baseball is a totally different game from that aspect. In some players more than others, like I just brought up. So it matters more. If anybody tells you it doesn't, they've never played baseball. They don't understand baseball players, and they're just a statistic evaluating guy. And that's great. And that works out a lot of times in a lot of sports, and it's a great thing for DFS. But baseball is just a little bit funky from that aspect. It's a lot about making very, 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 very quick decisions. In basketball, you can load up on steals and blocks and things like that, and you have other ways to get points. But in baseball, you just get your 3, 4, 5, 6 at-bats, and if you're not feeling it, the odds of you succeeding, small. And this can translate to teams too. It's why I keep telling people the Royals are the key example right now. And I brought it up the other day when Mike Moustakas was 75% owned or whatever he was. The Royals have scored more than 3 runs like once in the last 2 weeks. So you have very few chances to score points. You have to do it all on your own. Even if you get a single, you're probably not scoring a run or getting an RBI because your team doesn't score any runs. So when teams have scored 10 runs in a row for 10 straight days, hitting is contagious as well. So I just want to throw that out there. Just something to think about, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to be a team member, hit me up. As always, though, stay tuned, guys, for more videos coming out. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and all that good jazz. And again, thank you very much for watching, and let's go win some money tonight.